After opening the season at Laguna Seca, which saw a driver making his series debut dominate most of the race, only to surrender the lead late to the familiar multi-time and defending champ, the dusty terrain of California gives way to the rolling green Wisconsin countryside. Sanctioned by the Absolute Beginners League, Formula Neagle brings its fleet of Renault open-wheeled race cars to Road America for round 2. From the Badger State, hello and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel's Countdown to Green. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 60 minutes of simulated Formula Renault 2.0 racing that follows immediately as we count down to green for the sophomore episode of Formula Neagle Season 14. And here to do all of that is yours truly, Bill Soups On, joined by the man more commonly known as Posy Pockets, none other than Joseph Ringrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders of his beast of a streaming machine, our director, Sean Ambrose, armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. It was hinted at in the opening, but now let's put names to the characters. Yes, the Roland Estonian Aeronum started Season 14 where he left off in Season 13, picking up his 29th career Formula Neagle win. It was newcomer Claudius Veed that stole the show, however, leading, nay, dominating most of the race until a poor pit stop cost him the win. Now, a record 62 cars took the grid at Laguna Seca, and the track claimed many as its victim. But Posy Pockets, lap traffic should not play a big factor here at Road America, as it did last round, because this track is long.
And long it is indeed. Established in 1955, this legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been challenging the world's best racers for over 60 years. Located on 640 acres or park-like grounds between Milwaukee and Green Bay in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, the rolling terrain offers great viewing opportunities for the fans. Currently hosts races in various series, including IndyCar, NASCAR Xfinity, WeatherTech IMSA Sports Car Championship, and the Pirelli World Challenge, also hosting bike races. Considered by some to be the best test of road racing in North America, the best way for you, the viewer, is to get an idea of what this place is like, is to jump on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0 and take a lap around America's National Park of Speed.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman, the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Road America. Coming up the front stretch, turn 1 is a potential passing zone, but it's still a fairly fast corner, so it'll be more about the draft getting you alongside than it is about outbraking your opponent. Watch your corner exit too, because a spin doesn't offer up much room to recover on either side. From there, we drop downhill a little bit before we brake for turn 3. This is a very important corner to get right, so back up your entry a little bit to offer yourself a better launch off the turn. It should become clear why you need to focus on the exit. This is one of the longest straights into one of the heaviest braking zones, but the moraine sweep offers some other challenges because of how it weaves back and forth. It can be hard to tell if someone is drifting to defend or just taking a natural line. Down into turn 5, expect a lot of overtakes here, but also expect a number of drivers to outbrake themselves and run wide. This big black curb is all fair game though, so use it up. Then, it's a short burst to 6 where the crest tends to cause the car to get light. If you miss the apex, don't worry, you're not the first and you won't be the last. Switch sides quick because you'll need the whole track to stay flat-footed through turn 7. That leads us into the hurry downs. The plunge into the braking for 8 tends to offer up an opportunity to launch a surprise attack. Just watch out for the lack of grip from being offline. Now, as we fly into the bridge, we hit the carousel. Avoid the temptation to apex early. If you can walk the tightrope beside the marbles, stay a little wide, then swing the car back in so that you can get to the power early. That takes us racing towards the infamous kink. Thankfully, in the high downforce Renault, it's flat out and not quite as difficult as it is in some cars. I still wouldn't advise trying it too wide. But now we're into the kettle bottoms, where there's going to be a little jink to the left that makes the braking tricky. To keep the car more settled, straighten it out. Canada Corner is another place where plenty of passes happen or wind up going completely awry. Don't outbrake yourself to make it the former. Coming up to 13, there's a frustrating blind crest hiding the apex from your vision. You won't have much time to get the car back across the track and offer yourself the best line for the final turn. Absolutely make sure you get the exit of this one right, because the front stretch really is the longest straight on the course. To add to that, you have this steep uphill climb to punish anyone who hesitates on the gas. But hopefully you kept it all together and have finished a lap around Road America.
Find yourself a good spot on a nearby hill overlooking turn 5. That is in my opinion, is the action corner here at this track. And talking about action, we only have 1 week worth of racing in the books, so our point standings pretty much mirror the results of the opening round. Let's take a look at those now. The car may have changed, but the results are the same. The Roland Estonian Aero Num for Bush Fink Pink did everything right to get the opening round win, and not surprisingly, sit atop the standings. As previously mentioned, Claudius Veed, he had pit stop issues, and that cost the TT Racing Yellow the win. The Renault team, the Renault seems to be a really good fit for than the Skippy is for Johan Vanderbilt, as he sits in third. Once an upstart newcomer, Diogo Francisco for TT Racing Red is now an established threat, and C-Bottom Racing strikes again, this time in the form of Mikkel Rugenbrink. There are 2 more championships GSRC will track this season, the F2 Drivers' Championship and the Rookie Crown. We'll take a look at those more in round 3, but right now, let's go to the Team Championship. And with 2 drivers in the top 5, one would expect C-Bottom Racing to be near the top of the team standings, and indeed, they lead by a comfortable margin. Now, unusual that both those drivers are not here today, both Mikkel Rugenbrink and Johan Vanderbilt. So look for C-Bottom Racing to fall in the standings considerably when we come back to you for round 3. Solely as a result of his first round win, Aero Num has Bushvik Pink in second. Now, fans of GSRC have heard this commentator get on his soapbox many times during a broadcast to rant about racing teams using colors to distinguish multiple ventures. In short, colors are boring and forgettable. So, to make my point, and hopefully to start a trend, I will be using alternative nomenclature for the TT Racing teams this season. Now, having just watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, let me say this. Claudius Veed has TT Racing Team Ferris in third. TT Racing Cameron is in fourth, thanks to the efforts of Diogo Francisco and Pierce Cocky, and Tuan Trans rounds out the overlay for TT Racing Sloan. Now, the age difference between myself and my booth mate is GSRC. It's a record setter here at GSRC. So all season long, you guys can witness both of us giving references that neither one of us understand. But one thing that everyone is interested in is the race details. Joseph?
Yep, everybody is indeed interested in those race details. This is round 2 of 7 of the season number 14. No drop weeks, of course. We see 60-minute race setups will be completely open, allowing drivers to change whatever they can do, within the limits of iRacing. 30% fuel is limited in these fuel tanks, which will allow the drivers to make 2 stops, and there is an incident cap at 24x.
And hopefully the incident won't be in effect here, although you could pick up a few, as the curves are kind of friendly, so you can cheat a little bit here. One thing that is also important is how the weather plays out. And what's the weather look like, Joseph?
Well, from my view here, it is very, very overcast. Currently, 76 Fahrenheit air temperature with 82 Fahrenheit track temperature. Winds going west at 10 miles an hour currently, but you know that could change throughout the race. Overcast, as we mentioned, 39% humidity. And yeah, this is not necessarily a hot day, but it's not cold by any means, and should definitely give a test for the drivers.
We're over here very much not only metrically challenged, but we're also what would that be, Celsius challenged. So you being over there in the UK, you need to get those. You need to get that conversion done in your head there, so you can go. We have such a heavy European fans here on this one. We should give those in both Fahrenheit and Celsius one time. Qualifying going on right now. It's open qualifying, and it's an interesting format that these guys use. You get to put in 3 laps. That's all you get to do. It's open. You can go out there, be with your teammates if you like, but don't put in any more than 3 laps. If you go out there, you get a warm-up lap, and then you get 3 hot laps. If you do any more than that, you're going to go to the back of the line or serve a penalty in the next race. Let's take a look at it right now. No surprise to see that hot shot rookie, Claudius Veed, sitting at the top of the chart. I believe he has his qualifying in. Yes, he sure does. As does Patrick Fliss, the Slovene machine, making his first appearance this season, coming in here at race number 2. Was really dominant when we were in the skippies. Haven't seen Patrick race in these more high-powered, stronger downforce cars. Seems to like them, those he sits in second. We're on board right now looking at Tuan Tran, former champion. Won back way in season 6. It's been a dry spell since then, looking to see if he can pick up a second championship. Strangely enough, the championships ended for Tuan Tran as soon as the Roland Estonian got on the scene. And of course, that is Errol Num, multi-time champion and defending champion. And Errol Num puts in a qualifying time and moves to the top. The Roland Estonian is not to be messed with.
That was a very, very good lap from Errol Num there. Managed to go just over a tenth and a half faster than the rookie. But those two seem by far and away the fastest drivers here today, Sue.
What do you think, Joseph, as far as drafting goes with these cars here? This is a big track, long straightaways. I guess our passing zone probably be down usually into 1. Is there enough time maybe into 5 to make a dive down in there, get something done?
Yeah, I've driven these cars, well, predominantly these have been the cars that I've driven, and the draft can be very, very powerful in these cars, especially if there's a group of cars and the leader obviously won't have the slipstream, and it'll just be multiple effects of slipstream from multiple cars, and definitely into turn 1 is an overtaking opportunity. But drivers will have to be careful, obviously, the tightness of turn 1, and turn 5 again is definitely an overtaking opportunity, but these drivers will probably, the guy in the front will probably have to make a mistake for anything to happen, or maybe just send it into 5.
You know, we've covered this series so much when they were running the skippies, and there's not a lot of tweaking you can do on those cars, to be honest. What about the downforce here? Is this one of these tracks where you can say, man, give me a car that sticks, maybe lose a little straight line speed, or let's flatten out those wings, let me go fast, and I'll deal with it in the corners? Is that something these guys have to decide?
Yeah, there's sort of many different approaches that these guys can take with the car. They can adjust. Wings is predominantly the sort of main thing that the drivers change, whether they go for more or less downforce, straight line speed, of course. So some of these guys who think they're maybe towards the back, might just go for straight line speed and hope they can make up a few positions throughout the race. Obviously it's an hour race, 2 stops, so we're definitely going to see guys passing and a bit of ding-dong battling going on, but maybe someone like Iranom, maybe that qualifying time was done on a sort of setup with more downforce, allowing him to take more speed through places like the carousel, and some drivers in the mid-pack might have just gone with a bit of a balance as they don't really know where they stand.
As we ride on board with Ludwig Sawyer, you can see the timer start to count down, just about over 20 seconds left in qualifying. But what'll happen is they'll let these drivers finish their hot lap as we ride with Ludwig Sawyer as he heads up the hill right now. Ludwig has currently put that car in, what would that be, 38th position, if I can see that far away. Boy, you can see those clouds hanging low and oppressively in the heavens. And now, Sawyer moves up into 27th. A good run from him. I think he's probably one of the last cars out there. See if anybody else is still putting out. I think they're all done. I think they all got him in on time. Tuan Tran making a run. He currently sits in 8th position. Up, and that one's not going to count as he just loops it around. So with that, let's go ahead and give you our GSRC starting grid. We'll take it a row at a time. And on the front row, well, it's the 2 guys who dominated at Laguna Seca. They're back again. Multi-time champion Errol Num on the pole. He's flanked by this hotshot rookie, Claudius Veed. Joseph?
In P3, we have João Valverde, and joining him on row 2 will be Patrick Fields.
The Slovene machine there in 4th position. Patrick Fliss, nice shot from him. Diego Francisco in 5th position. David, 3rd degree burns, is going to be outside of him.
VRT racing driver Alistair Hay will line up in P7 with Turan Tran in P8.
Row 5 is filled up by Little Bird Saradov here in 9th position and Timo Rumku in the 10th spot.
Row 6 will be lined up with the first 2 drivers in the 2-minute freeze, Alex Jonsson and Piers Kocky.
In the Baker's Dozen spot is Jus Junk inside of Bastian Hausmann.
Vincent Bream and Michael Pocek line up in P14 and 15 respectively.
Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn in the 17th position. He's going to be flanked by Bambi, Neil Bamber.
Gap SRT driver Luca Furlick, P19, and Peter Balassa in P20.
Hidden Blackjack, it's John Morgan. Catching 22, Jonathan Almanar.
Henrik Kamara, P23, and Josh Brain will be P24.
In the quarter century mark is Rob Adams. He's going to be inside of Josip Pocevic.
Ludwig Sauer and Eric Luku line up P26 and P27.
29 to 30th goes to Adam McNally and Kevin Mills.
Robert Elder and Matt Carballo lined up alongside them.
Putting in a time of just over 2 minutes and 6 seconds, it's Jack Turner and Elbert Nodenboom.
P35, Paul Bird. P36, Daniel Solo.
Couple more drivers putting in qualifying time, Evan Robson and Kurt Crum.
Another VRT racing driver, Tom Van Hooyman, sets a 2-minute 22.1, P39. And the 2 guys not to set time, Aaron Kurtz and our very own Adam Young.
Adam Young stepping out of the broadcast booth to go down and see what it's like to race. He's going to start from the very back. We wish him the best of luck. 41 names on the entry list. 39 were able to put in qualifying times. One of them was really slow, Tom Van Hooyman. He just wanted to put in that qualifying time so Soup could give him credit for being the hard charger. We wait for everyone to grid up now, and the qualifying is, well, they're still going to give them some more time here, actually to grid up. So it's time for the drivers to hit the grid under these dark skies here at Wisconsin. Elk Lake, if you've never been here, come and take a look. Bring a picnic, find yourself a nice spot on the hill to watch the race. A lot of good racing that you can see here on this Cathedral of Speed in Northern California, or Northern America. Still back at Laguna Seca there.
Yeah, with the weather as it is, I wish we were in California currently. It's not looking the brightest. If iRacing had rain, I'd predict that for today.
Yeah, it should make you feel right at home. Wait for the drivers to take their spots. All right, Joseph, it's your first time here. We're calling one of these races. Let's put you on the spot. I'm not going to let you pick Aeronum or Claudius Veed. So out of the rest of the drivers, who's going to have the best performance?
It's definitely an interesting one to call. I know a couple of drivers in this field, Liam Quinn, Luca Furlick, Alistair Hay, Sarah Dove, Tom Van Hooyman. The sort of main guys I recognise. I know Alistair can definitely be up there on his day. Obviously, I'm probably going to say Diego Francisco showed it where he is in the championship, and P5 is a pretty good position, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Of course, we know a lot of these drivers from GSRC's coverage of the Apex Online Racing League that Joseph raced a few in and was there with us doing some spotting for us as we were with that series for a long time, and they raced this Formula Renault. We saw them every Friday for many, many seasons, and we have a lot of cross-pollination going on from drivers coming over to race with us here. But right now, all the eyes are on the Roland Estonian, who races into all sorts of broadcasts here on GSRC's. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. We got 60 minutes of racing here. This is round 2. Formula Neagle, season 14. Gather up the chickens, take covering on the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And it is the Roland Estonian Aero Num leading the Stampede into the first corner. And it's a long way to that first corner. Is he going to keep the lead, or is the rookie Claudius Veed going to challenge? Veed right behind him, settles into second. Rounding out your top 5, Diego Francisco, João Valverde, a couple of Portuguese drivers, and the Slovene machine, Patrick Fliss, in 5th.
Yep, good start from Aeronom, but Claudius Veed literally stayed with him. Got a bit of a gap to him now, and the top 3 sort of pulling away slightly. But as I mentioned before, the slipstream sort of starts about 0.7 seconds. Is that Claudius Veed trying to make a move on Aeronom into turn number 5? Sorry, nearly getting it done, but perhaps just a bit early on in the race. This is a 1 hour race, Claudius. No need to rush moves.
Yushunk took a little trip through the Wisconsin countryside there, lost several positions back. So far, though, we seem to be very clean, haven't lost many drivers. Aeronum continues to lead the rookie Claudius Veed, with the Portuguese driver of João Valverde hanging close in 4th position behind Diego Francisco. The back half of your top 10, it's Tuan Tran. In 7th position, Alex Janssen. Then the last 3 drivers in the top 10, David Thurston Return, Sarah Dove in 9th, and Alistair Hay rounding out your top 10. Look at them coming at you and now going away as they work their way down into Canada. The top 3 drivers begin to pull away. Num, Veed, and Francisco. They try to distance themselves. They've got about, oh my goodness, almost over a second gap now back to João Valverde in 4th position.
Yeah, this isn't going to be what João Valverde wanted. He's coming under threat from Patrick Fleece, and these guys getting away, he's going to lose the slipstream. He won't have the effect of the slipstream of any of these 3 guys now. So defending will be very difficult with 2 cars behind him, and it looks like Patrick Fleece is going to go for the inside.
They are mostly single file all the way to the top 20. There was a pass. John Morgan makes a pass, moving up into 18th position. We had a spin way back. Josh Bryan in 40th. We don't need to go there. He looped his car in the very back. Much, much cleaner than what we saw last time at Laguna Seca. And now we got a challenge for the lead.
Yep, Claudius Veed actually made a move on Aeronom at the start of the lap, and Aeronom now coming under threat from my pick, Diego Francisco. Seems to be struggling at this stage, but when I say struggling, I mean the slowest out of these 3.
So a new leader, Claudius Veed, I believe from Germany. I will double check on that one, make sure that is correct. If it's not, I apologize. We'll find out more next time. He is our new leader. Aeronum back in 2nd position, and Diego Francisco in 3rd. Of course, I can guarantee that he's not from, well, he could be from Germany, as Diach is one of those. That's Germany, Austria, or Czechoslovakia. If there is a Czechoslovakia anymore. Let's look at Tuan Tran. Racing now in 5th, all by himself. Nice battle right behind him, though. We can go back to the Slovene machine at 6th position. Fliss being challenged by Burns. And Dove now has worked her way up into 8th. She was in 9th last time we checked. She's got around Alex Janssen.
Yeah, all these guys sort of making up just 1 or 2 positions, and that will all count in the championship. And maybe we could see a strategical game, maybe going for the undercut for the overcut. And is that someone down pit road I see?
It might be a little early for that. We can check it. Possibly they can do a splash and go. I can report that Diego Francisco has made the move down the front straight to get around Aeronum. So the Roland Estonian drops back to 3rd. Francisco now in 2nd, and he's got 1.2 seconds to get to Claudius Veed. This is just what we saw last time at Laguna Seca. Veed gets out in front, and he starts to distance himself.
But João Valverde is definitely sort of closed in on this top 3. Well, when Francisco and Nom have been battling, so they've been able to capitalise on that and gain some time.
I'd like to go to car number 33, currently in 18th position. He is our hard charger, Robert Elder. See if we can find Robert right now. He's in a battle. Elder just fighting with Adam McNally. This is a battle for 19th. In fact, Elder now drops down to 20th, who will lose that hard charger award just from that little bit of time. He drops a few positions. Hughes Junk in 18th. Adam McNally in 19th. Elder in 20th. Two more cars back behind them, Joe Morgan and Eric Lukul, a veteran of a Formula Neagle, racing in 22nd position. Nice racing going on from these guys. McNally seems to be distancing himself away. Working through, we're looking at Eric Lukul. Let me correct myself if I said Joe, or let's go to John Morgan in 22nd position. Not to be confused with former Cincinnati Reds second baseman Joe Morgan. Eric Lukul makes the pass, move him up into 21st, and is now looking to get on to Robert Elder.
Yeah, Robert Elder has gained a lot of positions in these early laps. Started down in P31 and now P20. And that's Alistair Hay in the pits. Very, very early stop there.
Now this might still work. Here's the way this works. The pit stops, it's a two-stopper. You can go long for the first run, you can go long for the second one, and then do a splash and go. Or you might be doing what Alistair Hay is doing here, unless he's picked up some incidents that I don't know about. He might be taking his splash and go early. Come on in, top it off, and he'll just need one more stop from here. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll also check his pit stop time to see if it's quick. Looking for the drivers who have pitted. Hay, yes, has a nice pit stop. Only 5.3 seconds, so he's in and out. This was what my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. You've heard me talk about it many times on a GSRC broadcast. The driver peels off early. You forget about him. What's revealed late is he's up at the front. Looking at our leaders right now. Veed, Francisco, and Num. They continue to race 1, 2, 3. Joseph Veed got out in front, but the gap holding it about a second. At least he's not running away from Francisco.
Yeah, Francisco still seems to have the pace. Has a faster time so far this race. Francisco was half a second down in qualifying, but again, qualifying and race pace is two completely separate things. And Francisco might show something that he maybe didn't have over Veed in qualifying in the race. Who knows? We got what, just under 52 minutes to go.
Can we find Vincent Bream, perhaps, if that's possible, or car number 19 of Mitchell Polchicek? The guys got together. See if our director can find it. I think he's got it right here. Nope, he's not on it yet. Those two drivers got together. Here we have it. Let's see if we're in the right spot or if this is too late. Quite sure what we're looking at there is, there it is. There's our contact. Nice job. Now that black, white, and red car there, that was Mitchell Polchicek. He got into it. Both drivers continue.
Yeah, Vincent Bream lost a bit of time though, whereas Polchicek didn't really lose all that much. So Vincent, definitely the loser out of the two in that collision, but hasn't lost too much time, only 3 seconds down on Polchicek, but positions have been lost.
Been a very clean race compared to what we saw at Laguna Seca. Let's check back in on our leaders because things are interesting there. Claudius Veed, now we talked about him not pulling away. Well, he's opened up about a half-second gap. Oh, Errol Num has been able to get around Diego Francisco. That pass was made. Thought they were racing in order, but Num was able to get the pass. I think he was beginning to worry a little bit about Francisco not keeping pace with the leader. And so now Num is back into second, Francisco stalking. Not too far behind Yalva Verde as second, third, and fourth run very close together. We can drop back a couple positions. Look at Tuan Tran in fifth. being hassled by the Slovene machine, Patrick Fliss. These guys have raced a ton of time together. Fliss with a really good run off the final corner. Now pulls alongside. Cialis Bathtubs heading down into one, but the momentum goes to the Slovene driver and move Patrick Fliss up into 5th. Tuan Tran back into 6th for now.
Good move there from, well, yeah, good move. Tuan Tran still trying to find a way past though. But come up from P8. Sorry, Sue.
Yeah, Fliss with about 2.5 seconds to get up to Valverde as this group here back in 5th position race amongst themselves. David Burns in 7th. Let's round out your top 10. It's still the same ones, not quite in the same order. Alex Janssen has got back up into 8th position. Timo Rumku now into 9th, and Sarah Dove dropping a little bit as she holds on to 10th, but she's got a 5-second clutch. Oh, a spin up in front. That was Rumku right in front of the yellow car. Watch Sarah Dove. Can she capitalize? Nope. Wow, what a great catch from Timo. We're going to look at the replay on this one. Timo's car had some shadowy fancies on this one. It was evil, but he was able to gather it up. I think that was into 5 if I can recognize that corner, but he gets it caught up. That brings Sarah back into the mix. There we go.
Yeah, when he went on the brakes, it just sort of seemed to snap at the rear into 5. Bit of a strange one there. The rears just sort of seemed to lock, and that sent him off, but managed to hold position to Sarah.
And now we're back. Let's go to Sarah Dove. She's going to make the move. Here we go. Sarah gets right alongside, and are we live here as the pass is made? Let's make sure we're actually, can I be live? Is it possible for our, we're live. Okay, there we go, Sarah. There's the pass made. Sarah in the, what color car is that there that she's in? Is that blue or pink? Pink car. So I'm showing Sarah, though, in 10th position. I would have figured her to be a little farther up with that. 9th. Oh, there we go. Our timing and scoring getting caught up as we have a couple drivers taking toes.
Yeah.
Not a lot of pit stops being made yet. The man you spotted, Alistair Hay, still the leader of all the cars who have stopped, Joseph.
Yep. No one else has sort of made the bold call to come in for the stop. Very early stop from Alistair, but is he in some traffic? No, he seems to be pretty clear of traffic at the moment. He's got, yeah, a couple of seconds in front is Luca Furlick, but he's just got a few guys behind him, all sort of a train behind, but got some clear air to push.
He's ahead of Kevin Mills and Matt Cabrillo, racing 29th and 30th. So Alistair Hay out there doing what he can. Of course, his car's going to be just a touch heavier than the rest of the guys because he came in and topped off. So not going to be that much difference in the little bit of gallons that he had to take, or liters, depending on your global location. Let's drop back a little bit to 30th position, and there's a pass. This is Jack Turner making a move. There's Hay. You can see Turner back just a few spots back, was just able to get around Matt Cabrillo, so Turner moves up inside the top 30 now. My goodness, we have a nice race going on. 38 cars still on the lead lap. Wojciech Potosek is in 39th, he's a lap down. Josh Brain in 40th. Let's look at Van Hoyman real quick. We're going to find where he's racing. As soon as our director finds him, we'll tell you where he is. There he is in 22nd spot.
Battling with Kurt Crum at the moment.
Van Hoyman started in 39th. He has worked up, well, you do the math, 17 positions ahead of Kurt Crum and Henrik Kamara.
Is Kurt Crum going to have the run on him into one? He's in that slipstream, as we mentioned.
Oh, look at this as Van Hoyman takes a defensive line. And just no momentum from Kurt Crum. You talked about maybe different settings of the car, downforce compared to maybe Less downforce, having some more straight line feed. Boy, Crum's car did not have anything for Van Hooyman down the straight.
Yeah, Crum's car definitely sort of seems to be set up for the corners. See how much he gains down into 5. Still in that slipstream. Is Van Hooyman going to go defensive again?
Guys, we have to report, I'm sorry that we missed it. Errol Num has dropped a couple spots now in 4th position. He had worked his way up to 2nd while we were working through the back markers. Francisco has worked up into 2nd. Valverde into 3rd, and Num back into 4th. Not sure if that was from a mistake from the Roland Estonian or if it's just on pace. Take a quick look at his laps time, see if anything sticks out there for me as something a little bizarre. Boy. Yeah, his last one, lap 7, he put in a 2:04 flat compared to a 2:02.8 for his, or 2:02.7 for his fastest, but I don't know, maybe a mistake. Might just be setting a pace. So your top 4 drivers right now as they race: Veed, Francisco, Valverde, and Num. Let's go ahead and take a look at Eric Lukal and Bamber, Deal Bamber, racing in 16th position. Bamber racing in 15th. He's got about a 2nd lead on Lukal right now. Probably more interested in catching the driver in 14th, which would be Pierce Cockey, just 1 car up. Cockey about 0.8 of a second ahead of Bamber. Cockey started in 12th, has fallen 2 spots back. His nickname, Short Phil? Notorious for not putting enough fuel in the car. Let's go up to 12th position. This is really hot. Sarah Dove being bombarded by Liam Quinn, who almost got into the back of her. Just a little bit up here, Director, up into 12th position. Car number 31, if possible. There we go.
Something must have happened to Sarah, because she was up in P9, P10 with Timu. We saw he had his little moment just a few laps ago, but she seems to have dropped off a bit. Yep,
she was far up as 9th. Liam Quinn just lost the car. That looks like corner number 6, if I have that right. Getting around safely as Cockey and Bamber. Quinn was racing as in 12th position before the spin. He's going to cycle out into 15th. And when we come back live, we can look at this as Quinn is going to be heckled by Eric Lukal. We come back live now. Quinn sorts out. It's in 14th position. As Diego Francisco has come into pit out of 2nd position, as has David Third Degree Burns.
Something's happened to Sarah Dove. She sort of just disappeared off my screen. Maybe a connection issue. I doubt she would have gone over the incident limit just yet.
Bad news for Little Bird. Okay, Francisco and Burns have made their stop. Francisco is out, and it looks like he's going to sort out in 11th position. Let's see if that's true. He's still in his box. Oh, I forgot how long the pit lane is here at Road America. Now he starts to roll. Francisco's going to cycle out in 14th position, just ahead of Adam McNally. Well ahead of Burns, who was really in the pit stop. Well, I guess they were not that close. Both had 4.9-second stops, but Burns is well back. Let's go to David Burns, car number 125, racing in 21st position. He's in a pinata full of bees back here, ahead of Kendrick Kamara, behind Jonathan Almanar. Third Degree, he's got to do some work.
Yeah, he's filtered right into a battle, not what he would have wanted. So he's going to have to try and find his way around this and hope he doesn't lose too much time, but losing a bit of time there, running wide.
Cannot get around Almanar right now as they go through 6. Oh, Almanar goes a little bit wide. That's going to open it up for Burns, but he cannot capitalize. Being held up as they head towards... Finish this one now towards the corkscrew. I'm sorry, towards the carousel. Good fighting going on back here. 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 21st. That's how we say it in America. They say 21st over there across the pond, Joseph?
No, we say 21st.
21st. Okay, well, it's a trend. It'll catch on. It's coming your way. Oh, let's go to Liam Quinn. He just had it off right in front. This was in Canada, right in front of Francisco, who had made a stop in Lucal. Fortunately, nothing happened on this one. I think we just missed it there a little bit. We'll back up a little bit, maybe not. You can see the battle there. That's Francisco. No, it happens right here. Here we go. This is the corner. Nice job. Our director has it, and there goes Francisco. And Lucal right by. Good job, Sean Ambrose. Come back live. Let's take this opportunity to check in on our leaders, see what's going on up there. Claudius Veed, there's been action behind him, but nothing going on with him. It's been wire to wire out in front. He's got 2.5 seconds over Yal Valverde. Aeronum now back into third with Francisco making that pit stop. The bogey time between Veed and Francisco, 32.4 seconds. That's why the driver in 12th right now, Diego Francisco, cannot afford to waste time. He's hot lapping. Looking at Francisco now, remember, he saw Liam Quinn in front of him, didn't cost him any time. He was able to get around as Quinn was out into the alfalfa. He's got around Lucal. He's putting in those times. Let me give you an actual timed interval between the leader and Francisco. It is now 28.6 and holding. And as I say that, I think we got some action on pit lane. Yes, sure enough, Veed is in.
Top 6, 7. Is that 8 cars now? Yeah, I think everybody is pitting now. This is just the furthest you can stretch it. Top 9. Top 10, yeah.
Francisco was out of the final corner. These pit stops are quick. Our leader hits his box. First one out is Veed. He's out first. Now comes Num, but flying by is Francisco. Num comes out in third. No, let me correct myself. Yes, Num comes out third in line. Fleece is fourth. So they roll. Veed, Francisco, Valverde got third position. I was right. Num in fourth, Fliss in fifth. Tuan Tran in sixth. Looks to me here at the 36 minutes to go mark, everyone had to make their stop.
That says to me that 26 minutes in, drivers are going to have to pit. 24 minutes, sorry. So
yep,
we should probably see them in, what, with 12 minutes to go?
Yeah, unless they decide to take their splash and go now or split it up into 3 equal segments. That's always a possibility as well. Well, with all the pit stops done, Joseph, let's take a second to run through the field. How about we take it 5 at a time? I'll take the fast guys. It is Claudius Veed out in front by 2.7 seconds over Diego Francisco. They both have their first pit stop under their belt. Francisco with about 1.5 seconds back to Yal Valverde. Now, it's not that big of a gap, only about a second back to the driver in fourth, and that is Errol Num. But the interval to the leader is quite impressive. They're almost 4.5 seconds. Then rounding out your top 5. He qualified in, so it would be Patrick Fliss. There we go. And Fliss qualified in fourth and currently racing in fifth right now. Who do you got in the back half of the top 10?
Yeah, Tuan Tran is the first man There in P6, David J. Burns, P7, Alex Johnson and Alistair Hay follow P8 and 9, and round out the top 10 is Timu Roncono.
Our director works our way. We're looking at Burns there in 7th. Dropping back. There's Johnson in 8th. Having a good run. No one really around him. Alistair Hay, remember, he took that early stop. Early peel rate reveal. Well, he comes out revealed in 9th position. And there's Ronco. Let's keep going a little bit farther back. How about we go to 11th position? It's short fill. Pierce Cocky. He's got about 8 seconds to get up to Ronco. He's got about 4.5 seconds back. To Potacek. This is a great battle. Let's go back to 12th right now. This is Bastian Hausmann, who just made the pass on Michel Potacek. So Hausmann in 12th, Potacek now in 13th, and in the popcorn position, it's Bambi. Let's stay on this one for a minute as they head down towards Canada. No, that's not. Are they going? Let's see where they are. Yeah, heading
turn
towards
5.
Canada. Oh, it's just come turn 5. Thank you.
Yep, Lee and Quinn not too far behind either, but not close enough to make a move. These guys just sort of following each other, as mentioned before. It's a very, very big talking point with these cars. The slipstream is key to making moves and getting them done. And going wide for Bamber there, that's not really what he wants to be doing, and now he's under threat from Lee and Quinn.
Leading this group is Hausmann, who just got around Potacek before we got here. So this is a battle for 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. And there's Bamber being passed on the outside. Liam Quinn taking the wide way around the carousel.
Yeah, he made a mistake, and Liam Quinn just was able to get the drive out the corner and round the outside, got it done around the carousel.
Through the kink. And now down, going the same direction as they were when I thought they were heading to Canada. They were going to 5 before. Now they are going to Canada. So we're looking at the drivers at 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Let's drop back. Joseph, why don't you run us back from 16th back to 20th?
I will indeed. Eric Luckel, P16, is 38 seconds behind the leader. We have Yu Xiong, P17. VRT racing driver, Tom Van Hoyman, P18. He's a hard charger of the day, making up 21 positions. Henrik Kamara, P19, and Kurt Krum is the man rounding out the top 20, also gaining very, very large amounts of positions, 18 in fact.
There are your top 20 drivers, 32 still on the lead lap. We'll try to pick up a few more of those as we have time here, with these races being 60 minutes long. Gets us a little time to go through the field. And with that said, we look at Kurt Krum. Let's go back up and check on our leaders, see what's going on up there. Not much has changed. Claudius Veed looking to go wire to wire. He was able to run that first stint long. Nobody was able to stay out and lead a lap. Francisco back about 1.5 seconds. His country mate, Yalva Verde, behind him. And again, we have missed another pass. I apologize, as Patrick Kliss has got around Arrow Num. Num continues to go the wrong direction here in these Formula Renaults. Then the back half of your top 10, Tran, Burns, Janssen, Hay, and Runko.
Bit of a separation between Burns and Janssen forming. Burns is also sort of on his own, no one really in front for a good sort of 4 or 5 seconds, and as said, Janssen another 5 seconds back from him, so he's in no man's land currently.
So with that, let's go to car number 24 again. This is where the action is. Back in 13th position, Liam Quinn. Bamber, and now being back there, that's Bastian Hausmann back there. As these guys continue to fight. Best battle on the track right now. Quinn, Bamber, and Hausmann. All veterans of the Formula Neagle when they were racing the Skippy, all coming over, racing these faster cars, doing a good job, putting on a good show.
Alistair Hay makes his second pit stop of the day. Hitting in from he was P8, I believe, or P9.
And here comes the pass as nope, Quinn is going to be able to hold off Bamber. That makes sense for Hay. Remember, he took that stop early, so he ran it as long as he could. He's making his final stop now. He's good to go. We're looking at the car up in front there, kind of a white and blue car. That is Liam Quinn, car number 24, being pestered by Neil Bamber. And then watching Bambi and Mr. Excitement fight it out, Bastian Hausmann. Through 5. Let's go ahead and now Patrick Fliss now, boy, is up into 3rd position. Numb is into 4th. Looking to see if one of those drivers have made a pit stop. Francisco is in 2nd. I need to see what happened to Valverde. Valverde, sure enough, pulled off. Valverde has made his stop. He'll be good to go. Fliss now in 3rd. Numb in
bad
4th.
Bad news for any Valverde fans. In fact, Soup, he's in the pits, but there is no front end on that car, so he's obviously lost it somewhere, and that's forced the pit stop. So that is a shame for him. He was running up in P3 at one point, and yeah, definitely had the pace to be up there this race, and that's just a shame for him.
Boy, I do not see what happened to Valverde. Went back and strolled through. I cannot find it. Our director cannot find it either. So that just makes the going a little easier for Veet now as he's up by 3.5 seconds over Francisco. That does move Fliss and Numb into 3rd and 4th. We're looking there at Francisco. Drop back a little bit, 1 spot farther back to Fliss in 3rd. And you'll see him being challenged by Numb. Hausmann, the car gets a little bit wide for Bastian Hausmann. He has an off right in front of Just Junk. Hausmann was up into 12th position. Now that's Junk coming in on the inside, and they do not make contact. I think it was avoiding action there from Hausmann. He was worried about chopping off Junk. The car gets off into the grass, and he loses it. Hausmann's car is in horrible position. Can we come back live to Bastian's car as he tries to limp this thing around? He's doing it on 3 wheels, it looks like. My God, let's get a hammer and some butter because that car is crabbing.
Well, we have news from what happened to João Valverde, and he's saying in the chat that his wheel disconnected. So that is not what you really want, being in P3 and your wheel disconnects, and he just couldn't do anything and went straight into the wall. So a real shame for João there, but he'll have to wait till round 3 to get what he deserves.
Let's go ahead and take a look at one of our GSRC's own here is Adam Young. Racing in 28th position right now. He's got nobody around him. He's got 4 seconds to get up to crits. And about 11 steps on Bastian Hausmann, whose car is not doing so well. Let's quickly jump up to Patrick Fliss in 3rd position because he is being stalked now by the Roland Estonian. He's about 2 car lengths back. Arrow Numb hoping to get that final podium spot. Both these drivers still need to make 1 more stop. As we continue to look at this battle. The leaders of all the cars that made 2 stops, I would thought it would have been Alistair Hay, but it looks like it might have been Lucal. My timing and scoring is correct. That is Bastian Hausmann you saw off in the sand there. He's still trying to bring that car around, refusing to take a tow. Scrolling through, looking at drivers who have made their stop. Yeah, Lucal is in there. He's made a stop. Valverde has two, but he's still not racing. Where is Alistair Hay?
E15, battling with Henrik Kamara.
That's the guy we're looking for. There you go. Alistair Hay racing in 15th position.
Tom Van Hoyman just up ahead.
And yet now Van Hoyman, though, this is kind of a faux battle. It's Van Hoyman's going to have to peel off, as are all these guys that are ahead of him. So Hay doing a good job with that alternative strategy. Let's see if we can rewind as Numb made the pass finally on Fliss. They did, and it was just a normal pass going down into one. He got the run, and Aero Numb makes the pass into one. We're going to look at it on replay. Just a traditional pass, nothing to stand up and cheer about. You've seen it a million times. There's the Busch Fink car on the inside, gets it done into one, but they're not done yet. Going down into 5, they are side by side. When we come back live, Numb takes the defensive line and fends them off. We're coming back live now. He's holding them off. These guys are mixing it up. They've raced together a lot. They have a lot of trust in each other. That's Numb ahead of Fliss. They are 1 second ahead of Diego Francisco. Through the carousel. As we look at him, is Canada cornered? Joseph, is that a spot where Fliss could make a move in these cars, do you think? Well, he's got to run.
Could definitely be a position. If we're to make a move, he's got the run, and he's going to get it done before Canada corner, in fact.
Yeah. So these guys continue to fight. I don't know if it's helping their lap times or not. 1.1 second behind Diego Francisco. Meanwhile, wire, all takes place behind the man is going wire to wire. Claudius Veed. That battle for second or for third, probably the best one on the track as I scroll through looking for other drivers. Boy, with such a big track and so many drivers, you would think we have more. Let's go to 15th position. Car number 45 being challenged by Kamara. This is a good one. Kamara going underneath. Kamara makes the pass on Bamber, and he's bringing along a friend, Luca Furlick.
Bamber seems to have damage.
Front wing a little bit bent. Look at this one. Furlick gets more. As he gets 2. Kamara now drops to 16th. Luca Furlick up into 15th.
Their teammates, in fact, so we could see Kamara. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Furlick is through Kamara.
Driver in 13th, a little bit ahead of these guys. Alistair Hay still leading all the cars who've pitted. He's a minute behind the leader, but there are many, many spots for Alistair Hay to pick up when the guys come in that have to pit in front of him. Yonk, Quinn, Potacek, Kaki, Runku, all within striking distance of Alistair Hay. Love a man who takes an alternative strategy. Alternative strategy run by Alistair Hay, making that stop very early, a splash and go to start the race, then 2 long stints after that.
Definitely spices it up for the other guys. Maybe the other guys having to react to it throughout the race, and they'll just have to be wary that he's going to be in the mix towards the end, and, you know, maybe a bit lighter on fuel.
Let's go back to 3rd position with Fliss now, who's in front of Numb. This can change again whenever they like, but what's interesting is they're not gaining any ground on Francisco. Still just over a second behind the driver in 2nd. Let's watch what happens as they work through the final corner now, heading down the main straight. Joseph, that gap of 1 second between Francisco and Fliss is too far back right now to get any kind of a tow.
Yeah, it's around 7 tenths for you to get slipstream, but Aaron Nom will definitely be getting the slipstream of Patrick Fliss at the moment.
He did, but he didn't get the pass made as they go through one. Let's stay on this battle for a second because the next passing is going to be coming up here into corner number 5. This is 4 right here. Numb looks to be a little far back to really make a move yet. 20 minutes of racing to go still.
It's my calculations, that should be another 10 laps to go. David Burns in the pits.
So Burns comes in making his final stop, and he rolls. And Quinn goes by him. Young. The question is, did Alistair Hay get that spot?
No.
Hay did not, so Burns gets out in front of Alistair Hay.
Yep, Alistair's still with a way back from David Burns, around sort of 15 seconds. So just not close enough at the moment. And unless he makes a mistake, there is no chance of him getting David Burns.
Driver said Hay might be able to pick up Leon Quinn, is probably close enough for him to get. Mikhail Poltracek also in 9th, close enough maybe for Hay to get the undercut on. But right now, the leaders of all the cars who've made their final stop, David Third Degree Burns racing in 11th position. Qualifying in 6th. We ride on board with Third Degree right now. He's looking ahead at a driver he's raced with many times, Liam Quinn. Quinn in 10th, of course, but he still needs to make that stop. Top 10 drivers yet to come in. Quinn, Polchek, Kamara, Mills, Kretz. Let's go ahead and look at Kevin Mills. Car number 452. We have not given him a lot of love today. Mills having a nice run. We ride on board with Timo Runku right now in 7th position. And Runku now making his pit stop. We're on with Pierce Cockey, so Runku is in his box. Poltracek goes by. And there's Kevin Mills back in 21st. That's actually, I had it. That was really my fault, directors. I fooled you where he was too. That was my bad. Runku comes out now in 11th position. He sorts out ahead of Alistair Hay. Sorry, Alistair, you cannot pick up that one either. David Burns now vultures his way up into 10th. The top 9 drivers yet to pit.
I think we saw a move. Well, we didn't quite catch the move, but Aeronom's now up into P2, ahead of Patrick Fliss, but it's still very, very tight. In fact, he's going to get back past his Patrick Fliss.
We'll stay on this battle. That we can report that Diogo Francisco has made his stop out of 2nd position. He cycles out in 6th, ahead of David Pierce Cockey, who have yet to pit. These guys have been battling all race. Might be pit stop time here for them pretty soon. Let's see if either one takes this time. They do not. They'll keep racing. Kevin Mills making his stop. Top 3 drivers have yet to come in. Tuan Tran also, and Alex Janssen in 5th. Leader of all the cars who've pitted, Diego Francisco. The gap between your leader and Francisco, 29.3 seconds. The question is, not if Francisco will be able to undercut Veed, but is whether Fliss and Numb will be able to get him. Remember, the gap between Fliss and Numb was only about a second back to Francisco. Francisco now will have to negotiate Adam Young. In fact, he's made quick work of Adam Young. Young makes his final stop, racing in the quarter century position. Let's go back up to 2nd. And right now it's Fliss and Numb, and I think it might be pit stop time here coming up soon. They work through the carousel. These guys are 7 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, Claudius Veed has definitely seemed the best driver out the pack today since getting past these guys.
Neil Bamber just looped it in Canada. Did a nice little donut, did not lose a position. He stays in front, but it happened right in front of our leader. Let's go to our leader right now as he comes up on the back of Neil Bamber. Bamber goes by pit entrance, and here comes the leader into the pits. Will Fliss stay out, or will they try to steal a lap? Nope, they've got to come in too. Where is Diego Francisco? He's working his way into Canada. It's such a long pit lane. Our leader still has not found his box yet. When he does, it'll be a short stop. It'll be just a splash of fuel. He's in his box. Francisco out of the final corner. We expect V to pull away. The question is, what about Fliss and Numb? They haven't even got to their box yet. They wait. Numb, Fliss is out first, ahead of Numb. Here comes Francisco. And once again, has it happened? Is it deja vu all over again? Is Veed, he gets burned on the second pit stop, just like what happened at Laguna Seca. Claudius Veed is now in 4th position.
Did he take tyres? Because that was a 19.7 second pit stop. Obviously don't recall him picking up any damage. We haven't really seen too much of him since he got past Fliss, Francisco and Nom, but that's very, very strange.
It's the same scenario as we saw last time, so what does it mean? The Slovene machine is out in front of the Roland Estonian, and they are within striking distance of each other. The gap, just 0.6 of a second. I gotta correct myself. It is not, it's Francisco. Fliss got out ahead of Numb, and splitting them was Diego Francisco. It races right now. Fliss, Francisco, and Numb. They race 1, 2, 3. Well out of the mix is Claudius Veed. He sits in 4th. Oh my goodness. Lightning strikes a second time to the rookie. What? Joseph, I heard you talking about it. What? He wouldn't have taken tires?
No, he didn't take tires. It must have been repairs because didn't get up on the jacks. So yeah, just fuel and repairs, I'm guessing, because didn't go up on the jacks, so no tires.
What can happen is on these fragile Formula Renaults, if you bounce it over a curb, the undercarriage can get damaged, and even though it doesn't slow down your pace, it can hurt. It can hurt you in the pit stop time. So let's go to the leader right now. We're on it. This is Francisco running down Patrick Fliss. 11.5 minutes of racing to go. My goodness, and all the cards have all fell perfectly for the Slovene machine. Claudius Veed has a horrible pit stop. The other Portuguese driver had the wheel problems that took him out of the mix. And of course, that would be Al Valverde that I'm talking about. So those two drivers are gone. He was able to negotiate himself around the Roland Estonian, the multi-time champion, and now Patrick Fliss, all he's got to do is hold off Diego Francisco, but that's a tall order.
It's going to be tough to get past Patrick Fliss. Aaron Numb found it difficult and eventually managed to get past, but he came straight back fighting.
Numb is still in shouting distance from these guys, only about a second back. If Fliss and Francisco were to mix it up, that would bring Numb right back into the picture. Through the kink. Down to Canada. A good run from Francisco. He's a-coming. Fliss does not defend. And Francisco, I think, decides to wait. Numb gets the interval under a second now. I don't know if Francisco can afford to wait because it's going to be a partie de trois as Num is going to get in the mix.
Just under 10 minutes to go now, Soup.
Is there any hope for Claudius V to get there? The gap is about 5 seconds just to get to Num. Let's look up front. Francisco makes the pass on Fliss, going into one. Fliss fighting back.
The slipstream for Francisco just worked an absolute treat for him. Just sat in it for the whole of the pit straight. Held it. Alistair Hayes having to make another pit stop.
A pass for the lead, going into 5, and as Fliss gets on the inside, Francisco puts up no argument. They continue to swap positions, but the gap back to the Roland Estonian, who is a Roland, is now a half second. Patrick Fliss, Diogo Francisco, Errol Num. 1, 2, 3. We go back, we'll break away from this for just a second and we'll go back to 14th position. Not much going on there. That is Luca Furlick. These guys continue to battle it out. Alistair Hay, unfortunately, had to come in and make a third pit stop, which worries me that maybe that first pit stop that we thought might have been an early splash and go might have been something mandatory for repairs. Right now, we go up front. It is Fliss, Francisco, and Num. The gap does not shrink between Num and Claudius Veed, who's back about 4.5 seconds. Although it is shrinking to the lead for Veed. They head with just 7.5 minutes of racing to go. Let's see if Francisco makes a pass. The Slovene machine takes a defensive line into corner number 1. He tells Francisco, put on the reggae music, you're gonna pass me, you're gonna have to do it high. Francisco loses all the momentum. Here comes Errol Num into the mix. Put a blanket over him. They race very close. Num now with a great run out of 4. Will he make the move into 5? He's got the inside line. Will he try to do it with braking? He's not there. He decides not to make the presentation in there.
Doesn't want to risk it. You've pretty much got 55 minutes through this race, and to have a silly incident in the final few laps would be a bit stupid, really.
Num had fallen back. It looked like the race had gone away from him. Maybe a podium was even out of the question, but right now, he's not thinking podium. He's thinking back-to-back wins to start season 14 of Formula Neagle. The gap stays the same between Num and Claudius Veed. Veed has no chance to lead. Burns comfortably in 5th, Tuan Tran in 6th. There is not a battle inside your top 10. I continue to look for something else on the track. Let's go to 14th position. That's the one our director wanted to look at. This is Kamara that has just lost the spot to Van Hooyman. We'll keep an eye on this one. It's a good one. Remember, Van Hooyman started 39th, put in a qualifying time of 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Basically, it was like he was out there in a shopping cart. He makes the move now on the outside through 5. His little dipsy-do, a little hokey-doke, a little up and under. Not going to happen as Van Hooyman holds him off. The second best battle on the track. Van Hooyman against Kamara.
While we were looking at that, Errol Num managed to get himself up into P2 past Diogo Francisco.
Francisco now back into 5th. Fliss leading the way. Fliss now with a 0.7 of a second lead on the Roland Estonian. Errol Num, though, I don't think he's worried. The gap, let's check in again from Francisco back to Veed 4.3. Not really much happening there. Errol Num has to be careful that he doesn't lose touch with Fliss. With this being a 4-mile track and the field not nearly as big as it was in the first round, lap traffic not a factor today. Fliss has clear track in front of him. Nothing to worry about except hitting his marks. Errol Num stalking him. The gap, 0.5 of a second back. Just over 4 minutes of racing to go. With lap times of just over 2 minutes. What are we looking at here, Joseph? 2 more laps here, do we think? We're thinking 2 at the line.
Yep, so we're going to get to 29 laps in total, I believe. But between the top 3, anything could happen.
Well, with that settling down for a minute, let's quickly jump back to 14th position again. Car number 77, Tom Van Hooyman. He's able to hold off Kamara. They come down into one of the best passing zones, the action corner for me, corner number 5. Van Hooyman takes the defensive line. Kamara has nowhere to go. These guys can't play around too much or it's going to bring into the mix Luca Furlick, who's back there. Now they head up into 6. Nothing being done there. Meanwhile, up in front, the leaders head down the main straight. The gap, 0.7 of a second. They go into 1. Errol Num able to distance himself now, maybe leave Diego Francisco behind. The top 3 cars equally spaced, all about 6 car lengths apart. Veed has closed the gap now to under 4 seconds, but with only 3 minutes of racing to go, not enough time. Patrick Fliss qualified in 4th position. Raced with Errol Num for much of the race. Had a great pit stop. And then, with the mistake for the man who's been crushing it, Claudius Veed, he finds himself out in front. He was able to out-battle Num and Francisco. He'll be getting the white flag next time around. He looks to be in comfortable. Oh, and we look there, Fliss gets very loose.
Num's round as well.
Woo. You saw it on screen. My goodness, I thought we were going to lose one of them there. Num loses, goes all the way back to 4th position. Fliss got loose coming out of the corner. Num got very loose, and he surrenders that final podium spot. So now, even though Num is out of the picture, because Fliss got loose, Francisco is in the mix as well as they come around the final corner now, looking for the white flag. It is Fliss, Francisco, Veed, Num. David, 3rd-degree burns, rounding out your top 5. The gap, 0.8 of a second from Fliss back to Francisco. As they head into 4. With that said, I think we can go away from that for just a minute. I don't see any action. Let's go to 14th position, the one we've been looking at. It's Van Hooyman and Kamara. And again, they race about 3 or 4 car lengths apart. Let's stay on this one as they go down into 5. Kamara with a run. Van Hooyman taking his half out of the middle. And let me correct myself. They're going into Canada. Nothing happening there. Let's check back in on our leaders. The gap now up to 0.9 of a second. Patrick Fliss is having none of Diego Francisco. Through the carousel. Coming up to the kink. In these cars, the kink is not as scary as it might be. They get around the lap traffic. That is Elmer Notenboom getting out of the way. The 2 leaders go by. Fliss now into Canada. The gap, almost a second. It is a second. Nothing between him and the checkered flag except some kind of crazy disaster that could keep him from it. The final corner, it's all straight line now. Up the hill, only lack of fuel will keep him from winning round number 2 in Formula Neagle Season 14. Your winner, Patrick Fliss at Road America. Francisco gets second.
Yep, great job by Patrick Fliss. Claudius Veed manages to claim P3 after his pit stop troubles.
Let's go to 14th. This is the one we've been looking at. Van Hoyman, the best battle on the track now that the leaders have come across. The final corner. There's plenty of time to do it if Camaro can get a great run. Here they work through the carousel, down towards the kink. Plenty of time for Camaro to get there because there's time to do it out of the final corner. Through the kink. No other battles really on the track that we can look at. We'll stay on this one. Diogo Francisco could not get it done on Patrick Fliss. Can Hendrik Camara get it done on Tom Van Hoyman? We'll find out. Time is running out. Camara needs a good run. He closes up out of the final corner. It could be too far back. Both drivers have that skinny pedal to the floor. It's uphill. Try as he might, Hendrik Camara was going to have to settle for 14th position. Tom Van Hoyman, I believe, let me correct myself, Tom Van Hoyman will get 14th. Hendrik Camara will have to settle for 15th when it's all said and done and the timing and scoring catches up. Drivers rounding out that we didn't give much love to. Let's look at John Morgan. He finishes in 17th, just coming across. Robert Elder coming across in 19th, just behind Ludwig Sawyer. Last 3 cars on the lead lap, Jonathan Allman, Jack Turner, and Ian Robson. And with the racing over here at Road America, our broadcast is far from done. What we're going to do right now is take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League, welcome back to GSRC's coverage of Formula Neagle, Season 14, Round 2 from Road America. And we had a humdinger where, my goodness, lightning strikes the top rookie again as Claudius Veed, who dominated the race, gets the Achilles heel, comes to play again in the second pit stop that costs him the win. Let's run down your finishing order right now. The cards fell perfectly for the Slovene machine Patrick Fliss as he outduels Diego Francisco to the win. Claudius Veed gets the final podium spot after a horrible second pit stop and a mistake from Errol Num that cost Num a chance for the win. The Roland Estonian has to settle for first. A very quiet race from David Third Degree Burns rounds out your top 5. The back half of your top 10, well, that's Alex Janssen and Timo Ronku. Tuan Tran started in 8th, finishes in 8th. Pierce Cockey comes home in 9th. And the last car on the 10th in the top 10 is Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn. Joseph?
Yep, Yus Yonk, first fan outside the top 10, very, very close to Liam Quinn. Michael Podczek, P12. The two VRT racing drivers, Alistair Hay and Tom Van Hoyman, 13th and 14th, respectively. Tom had a very good battle towards the end with Henrik Kamara, someone else he also battled with, Luca Furlick in P16. Kurt Crum, 1 minute and 22 seconds down at P17. John Morgan, didn't really speak about much for him today. He had a quiet and clean race. Ludwig Sau up P19, and rounding out the top 20 is Robert Elder.
In blackjack, it's Jonathan Elmanar. Jack Turner hits the double duck position, and the last car on the lead lap in 23rd is Ian Robson. Then we get to the drivers that were 1 lap down, and there are 3 of those. Matt Cabrillo, Adam Young started 40th, comes home in 25th. Nice job from my GSRC co-commentator here. And Aaron Kretz comes home in 26th. A few more left here. 4 laps down was Elmer Notenboom. Bambi had a good run. Had problems, comes home in 28th. That's Neil Bamber. Kevin Mills in 29th, followed by Eric Lukel.
Yep, João Valverde, unfortunately, was towards the front for the majority, for sort of the first half of the race, and then his wheel disconnected. Shame for him. Daniel Solo, Rob Adams, Adam McNally, Sarah Dove, Vincent Brum, Paul Bird, Wojciech Podczek, Josh Brain, and Peter Balassa all retiring from this race.
Okay, we're fortunate enough to have one of our favorites here on the Global SimRacing Channel, and that is the Slovene machine, our race winner, Patrick Fliss. Patrick, I really thought it was just going to be a battle for 4th position there between you and Num, and then the cards just fell your way.
Hey guys, yeah, that was an epic race. I'm still catching my breath.
A great battle there with Francisco and Num after that final pit stop, and then we lost Num, and then you just had to hold off the Portuguese driver.
Yeah, actually, we both lost it at the same time, Num and I. I slid first, but I managed to save it while he didn't. So as I looked into the mirror, I thought he's going to pass me now, and I saw him spin, and I was like, oh, I get a second chance.
I know, I saw exactly the same thing. If you didn't know better, there was oil on the track. Hey, we haven't seen you race in these Formula Renaults much. You seem to enjoy it?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, actually, I didn't race this car for like a year, and even when I did, it was like a very small amount. So I'm really, really happy with that.
Tell me about the reaction time between things happening so much faster in these cars than what we see you so often in like the Skippies and the MX-5. Does it? Do you have to be up in the seat a little bit more because it happens so fast?
Well, maybe. I mean, the passes in faster cars happen a lot quicker, so it's actually, in some ways, it's easier than in cars like Mazda. Because yeah, you're side by side a lot with those cars, and you gotta be on the opposite lines. Well, here you just stay in your groove and make sure you don't make mistakes.
Hey, that's why we have you in for the interviews. I just learned something there. Hey, well, congratulations. Good to see you back in the winner's circle. We're going to get you out on this because I haven't talked to you in a while. How you feeling? Are you back to 100% after your injury?
Yep, just got my rods taken out in the beginning of the month, and now yeah, I'm just beginning to get back to completely normal, so I'm really happy with that.
Outstanding news. So the win is good, but that's the best news yet. Hey, thanks a lot, and we're looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. See you.
Patrick Fliss, our winner today. Okay, who do we have now?
I believe we have, Diogo Francisco with myself. Diogo is now here. Diogo, congratulations on P2. Just wasn't quite able to get Patrick at the end.
Nah, he was it was so super fast. I mean, the only way I actually caught up to him at one point it's because that mistake with Euro. So that's why it was close in the end. If it was close, yeah. I mean, I can't complain. It was a very good race all throughout.
Yep, towards the front there were a lot of battles. You were in fact my pick for the win at the start of the race, and overall, we made up 3 positions, so you got to be happy with yourself for that.
Yeah, first of all, you should know better than that. But yeah, I can't complain. I mean, I got a very good start, and I was very surprised to be able to keep up with the Claudius and Euro for a little while. But then Claudius just went off into the distance, and the only reason he ended up in third was because of his mistake. But Patrick also did a really great recovery, so congrats to him. It was an amazing race overall.
Yep, next time we drive in the Formula Renault, you'll be heading to Spa. Do you enjoy that track?
Yeah, love it. Never raced there with the Formula Renault or with such a fast car, actually. But I mean, it should be real fun. Very strategic for sure in the straights if we get some draft.
Yep, that'll be sure to be a very exciting race. And congratulations once again on P2, Diogo.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Diogo Francisco, our second place. We're going to talk to a guy who really put on a show for us. It was back in 14th position. We saw him battle with Hendrik Camara for so much of the race. And, of course, I'm talking about Tom Van Hooyman. Tom, nice run.
Yeah, good evening, Soup. Yeah, that was a nice run for me. I didn't expect it at all because last Friday I broke my wrist, so I was like, nah, I'm not going to participate. But on last Friday I did in AOR a race, and that was really really painful for me. So I looked for a solution to get it less painful. But still, it's quite painful for me because the right side, I got a Thrustmaster Formula 1 add-on, so I got one shifter on the right, and for my Thrustmaster wheel, I got that big pedal on the right. So I'm just shifting with the right side of my steering wheel because I can't with my left hand. So, but I tried to find a way to steer last Friday, and that worked out. Not optimal, but nice. And I was like, should I race or not? But yeah, I decided to race.
Well, that explains the qualifying time of 2:22. We know you're better than that. Paint the picture for us. Is your hand in a cast? Is it wrapped, or what's going on?
A cast. I got like it's white cast, but I got a, how do I say that? A blue. It's like white cast, but there's something blue over it. So.
Okay, well, what you need to do right now is write down the date and write down a 14th place finish here for you. Make a little mark on there. You can document all of the season on your cast before it comes off. What do you think?
Yeah, they said like 5-6 weeks for me. Last Friday they said 5 to 6 weeks for me. So I can do like on my cast and Spa on my cast for this league. So
okay. Well, I'm going to get you out of here on this one. You are from the Netherlands, am I correct?
That's correct. Yep.
All right. I'm in a continuous hunt to find some driver from Gelderland. Might you be from Gelderland in the Netherlands?
I'm not from Gelderland. I'm from North Brabant.
Does anyone live in Gelderland? I'm going to find somebody that lives in that place and races here on iRacing. Hey, you put on a great show. Congratulations on coming home ahead of Hendrik Camara there and a 14th place finish. And there you have it. That is Tom Van Hooyman, our 14th place. Do we have time for one more, Director? A quick one. Talk to Little Bird.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you want to talk to us? Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Joseph again, Soup. But Sarah, disappointing for you. Something happened to you, but you definitely seem to have the pace at the start of the race.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with my pace. I mean, again, I could have been in the top 5, but I made a couple of mistakes because it just seems to be on some tracks that I have trouble with the brakes and it'll just go a bit too much and then spin in heavy braking zones. But then I got a few spins and thought I'd just try and recreate the charge I did from 30th to 9th from 2 weeks ago. But my electricity didn't want to do that, so it cut out down the middle of the straight, and then I got everything back up and running, and iRacing wouldn't let me join the session. So
sorry, you got to pay the bills. That's the first rule of iRacing. Pay the electric bill.
It's been a storm, so I think it might have been something to do with that. I don't know. It was a bit disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah, you have been very impressive here, putting on some great shows. Well, what you need to do now is you got the electricity out of the way, you got the disasters out of the way. Let's have a good one for round 3.
I hope so.
Sarah Dove. Not the finish she was hoping for, but she ran up front for a while. That's going to do it here for us on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Let's go ahead and give thanks to the people that made this possible. Of course, everybody at the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks to the company's equipment or software you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. And, of course, the original music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC broadcast comes courtesy of Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. Joseph?
Yep, Formula Neagle returns in 2 weeks' time, July the 1st, for round 3. Live from Spa-Francorchamps, GSRC will be there, and we hope you join us once again. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel. And while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe by simply hitting this button on YouTube.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, don't call him Jonathan, because he is indeed Joseph Posey Pockets Ringrose, our director Sean Ambrose, and our cameraman Dougie Beard. We'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.